Elmwood artists, today we are going to learn about a new type of paint in the Painting Center. So far we've been using watercolor paints. Watercolor paints are transparent, which means you can see through them, kind of like this piece of cellophane. Now I'm going to show you how to use tempera paint. Tempera paint is opaque, which means you cannot see through it. Kind of like this. The palettes are located right here in the container that says palettes, and they are just regular pieces of magazine paper. So I'm going to take one of those, and remember, this is where the painting paper lives. It's much thicker than the drawing paper, so you always want to make sure to use this type when painting. Now that I have my palette, I can look to see what's next. A sponge. Those sponges are located right here, and I'm going to show you what those are for in a second. I'm going to put that down. And then I need my paint. Tempera paint lives right under here. Sometimes it's covered with tinfoil, and you are able to take the tinfoil off if that's the case. So let's get started. I just need to grab my piece of paper, and we're going to be on our way. Awesome. Okay, so now that I have my sleeves rolled up, my smock, my can of half-filled water, my damp sponge, some tempera paint, some brushes, a palette for mixing, and paper, I'm ready to get started. Yeah! All right, so the first thing I want to do is write my name and room number on the back of my paper. So make sure you do that first. It's a lot easier than having to flip your paper over when it's wet. If by chance it does happen and you forget, all you have to do is bend the corner back and write your name like that. No big deal. Okay, I think I'm going to start with yellow, and I'm going to paint a big circle. Now, you're not going to do what I'm doing right now. You're going to be creative and think of something that I wouldn't think of, or maybe something that anybody at your table wouldn't think of. That's what being creative is. Okay, so I am putting some yellow. Ooh, that is nice and creamy paint. Now, I think I need to get some red. Before I dip my brush into the red, I need to clean this brush off because it's covered with yellow and I want to keep my paints clean. So I need to clean my brush. Let me show you how to do that. So how do you clean your brush? The first thing you need to do is dance, 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 and then dab, dab, dab. What? I'm just teasing. But you do need to dance, 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 and dab, dab, dab. But the way you do that with painting is you take your brush and you dance, dance, dance it on the bottom of the can. What that's doing is it's kind of rubbing along the bottom of the can, moving those bristles around and getting it nice and clean. Now this is all watery, so I need to dab, dab, dab it on my sponge to get rid of that extra water. Now I'm ready to take my red paint and I can continue to paint. Now, let's say I want to make a pink. All you need to do to make a pastel color, does anybody know? What color do we add? We add white. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to dance, dance, dance my brush at the bottom of the can. Dub, dub, dub my brush on my sponge. And then I'm going to use my brush like a little scooper and scoop that out. Let me put it over here onto my palette. Dance, dance, dance. Dab, dab, dab. Scoop out a little water. Scoop out a little white and mix that up. Try to keep your color in a little puddle. You don't want to like paint your whole palette because it's just going to dry out. You want to try to keep it in a little pool of paint. Now let's see what this looks like. Pretty interesting so far. Now let's see what else we can do. I think I want to use some green, but as I look in my palette, there is no green. So that tells me I need to mix my own. So what colors make green? Does anybody know? Everybody say it out loud. Yellow and blue. You're pretty smart. So I'm going to take some yellow and scoop that out. Dance, dance, dance. Dab, dab, dab. A little bit of blue, and I'm going to use this kind of turquoisey blue and mix that up. And ooh la la, what a gorgeous green I just made. I bet some of you will be kind of inventing new colors. If you invent a new color, be sure to call me over so that I can check it out and you can tell us how you made it. Now, we were talking about how this paint is opaque. Let me show you something super cool. I love to take a light color like white and put it on top of some of my dry paint. You could never do anything like this with watercolor. Let's just fast forward and so now that I'm finished with my painting, I'm gonna put it on the drying rack. Do you guys know where the drying rack is? Yep, you're right, it is over there. So here I am over at the drying rack. I'm holding my painting, pinching the sides. I'm going to look at the drying rack and see that this space is open. Whatever the lowest space is, you start at the bottom and then slowly go up to the top. So I'm going to take this with 2 hands and put it on the drying rack. The next person that comes is going to put theirs right above mine, kind of like the rungs of a ladder. Now, let's get to cleaning up. Now that my work is on the drying rack, I'm ready to clean up. I'm going to look at this menu. I put my paper away. Now I need to put my paint away. I'm going to put it over here on the counter away from the edge because I definitely don't want that falling off. Then I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to put it right back into this container where I first got it. Now, my palette. No one wants to use my palette, so I'm going to crinkle it up and throw it away. Now for my brushes. Remember, we don't take brushes and jam them upside down in with the clean brushes because it will get all of these brushes dirty, which really would stink because it takes a long time to clean them. And it will give your brush so you keep all of your brushes together. Remember, just carry it with 2 hands. Don't look at the brushes. Don't be tempted. Just carry the brushes. I'm not looking at them. I can't see them. I don't know where you are. Just kidding. I'm going to dump them into this bucket right here, swish around that can of water, and set that back on top. Now I'm going to take another look at the menu. At the very top, it says smock. That is the last thing that you do once your area is cleaned up. Now that you've cleaned up your painting area, you can look around the room and see if there's anybody else that you can help. It's always nice to help others during cleanup time, and that's part of being an artist. I don't want to see anybody kind of like doing this, you know, looking around. No, you walk around and help everybody else, and I bet somebody might help you too. At the very, very, very end of class, that's when I will pass out wipes for very dirty hands. I'm so excited to see what you make today. Let's get started. Yeah!